It's going. How about you?
I'm pretty good, not too bad. So let's introduce you really quick. You are Corin, the cosmic counselor.
Yes. Yes, but there's more to the name, right? Ooh, and then my lighting just so happened to change itself to a spooky lighting. How appropriate.
hmm
But yeah, so yeah, I'm Corinne. I do call myself the cosmic counselor, but that's just a portion of my practice. I am a Mexican American occultist. That's also a cosmic bruja, planetary practitioner, and astrologer.
Okay.
I also dabble in divination, folklore practices, herbalism, spirit communication, and just self development, but from a spiritual and mundane kind of realm. But the core of my practice has been more focused on working with the cosmos, even though I have been practicing as a whole for 15 to 16 years. But the meat and potatoes of my practice is a lot of cosmic work.
Right.
Don't want to just chuck it up to like planetary magic because there's a lot more to that. I'm not a planetary practitioner in a traditional sense, so that's why I just like to call myself a cosmic bruja, where I just work with the cosmos. And on top of all that, I'm also a Santa Muerte devotee. So just a lot of things. That's why
No, I love
occultist,
that.
yeah, occultist feels like the most appropriate, I guess, title for me because it does encompass a lot of different avenues. Even though I have a very solid practice, it does have variety to it.
Right. Real quick, I hear a little bit of an echo. Do you have like a computer on or something by chance?
No, but let me see. Maybe my air purifiers. Give me 1 second. I can turn it off. Did that work?
Hold on, let me ask Curtis. Curtis, do you hear an echo? Maybe it's just my headphones. Maybe I'm tripping.
Maybe you're the one. Okay, much better.
What's up, Joseph? How you doing, my guy? Okay, let's see. Echo, echo. Say something.
Testing.
I've just got a little bit of a delay in my headphones. It's okay. That will make it work. I don't
Okay.
think it's you, though. I don't think it's you. I think it's me.
Okay.
But how'd you get into like astrological magic? That's a
um,
tongue twister.
that's a tongue twister. So it just stems from growing up in an environment where astrology was, uh, I guess, common, or not just common, but a known topic of discussion growing up. I was just always around talks around astrology, like what's your sign and things like that, from like my mother and my tias. And also growing up, I don't know, like in the 90s, there was like a show called Walter Mercado, and he was like a famous Latin American astrologer, and I was like obsessed with his show as a kid. And I just thought him to be like the most fascinating, eclectic, eccentric like creature. Like this world did not deserve him, and he was just so fascinating. I was like obsessed with him, and then enamored with him. And then from there, just it always stuck with me. And then as I grew older, picking things up, books, articles, etc., on astrology and just like learning about it, yeah, at a very basic level. It wasn't until 8 years ago that I just came to the realization that like I love this in a very profound way. It's not surface level for me.
Right.
Um, and then also just like you know growing older and becoming more spiritual, and what it all means to be spiritual, being tuned with yourself and like a higher power, whatever that higher power is. And it always came back to the cosmos, the universe. And yeah, I just kind of kept learning about it and dedicating myself to it. So for the last 8 years, I've really dedicated myself to becoming an astrologer, and then working with the cosmos in a more deeper, profound way, where I draw inspiration from the cosmos to better my life, just like you would if you had any religion that you dedicated yourself to, where like the point of any religious practice or like spiritual practice is at the end of the day to make your life better, right?
Hmm.
So it kind of just started with that, of like finding the needs and the voids in my life, and like the things I wasn't happy with, and like, all right, how do I change this? And I kept coming back to the cosmos, not just astrology, but more just like, I don't know, becoming more aware of like how small we really are. This sounds like so like morbid, but it's very important to kind of humble yourself in that way. Where like we're just puny humans on this earth. There is so much more to this world. And then with like studying astronomy along with astrology, so like the science of the cosmos and the spiritual mystic side of things, just like really grasping like, wow, like the universe is so big and vast, and like the possibilities are like endless, and just like learning about like space and time and things like that. It just really made me realize like, wow, like the universe is gigantic. And for me personally, no offense to anyone that works with like other gods or deities or whatever, but with the cosmos being so vast, I'm like, I don't need to look anywhere else. I don't need
Yeah.
guidance. I don't need guidance from anywhere else. Like
Hmm.
I can pray to the stars in the sky and get that same fulfillment as you would with anything else. So yeah, the cosmos and like Santa Muerte are literally the only things I devote myself to, and they have truly like blessed my life and turned a lot of dark corners into auspicious opportunities. So yeah, that's kind of where it all started. Just one breadcrumb as a kid, and I just kept chasing it
And you
until
ran with
now.
it.
Exactly. Now I'm like in
Yeah.
my 30s, and I'm like, it was not a phase. I'm still obsessed.
Hmm.
There's actually a term for it. It's called astrophilia. Um,
Astrophilia.
yeah, so it's like an obsession with the astros.
Hmm. No, I actually tell people that a lot too, like, because I don't work with deities or anything either, but
Mhm.
I'm just like, because I don't feel the need to, right? Like with my practice, it's working with spirit and communication and that whole thing, but it's never, a lot of people do work with deities, but I've never been one to like work with them. But it's cool, like the people that do, like, go for it. Like that shit's cool as fuck, but it's just not part of my practice. You know what I mean?
No, yeah. And I think we talked about this before, right? Where it really is about you discovering your own needs and how are you going to fulfill them. And it doesn't matter how. All that matters is that it's benefiting you. It's bettering your life, and it does not matter how that looks like. And it's like it's supposed to be tailor made for you, because you and
Yeah.
only you are living it, doing it, existing in it. So no other biases should
Right.
matter. It's like I'm all about, yes, honoring traditions and like looking at them and all of that, but to me it's more like honorable to our predecessors and our ancestors to keep evolving. And if that means tailoring a practice to suit your every need for the betterment of yourself, then why not? Why not go for it? Who's gonna say that you're doing it wrong?
Yeah,
Like
because we have spoken
who
about
are
that
you
a
to
couple
say?
times before, and it is like it does go hand in hand with like your practice will go hand in hand with your life, and the more you get comfortable and what's the word, like secure in your practice, I feel like the more you're gonna get comfortable and secure in your life. Like it definitely does go hand in hand.
It's parallel. And like we said this before, like personal and spiritual development should be parallel. It needs to be parallel. You can't just be hitting the books and thinking that you know it all, and then not putting anything into practice. Like you
Yeah.
can't just wallow in your dissatisfactions forever and be like, oh, I wish my life was like this. I wish I had this. I wish I had that. And then you're not doing anything like literal. physical about it. It's like, no, it has to be parallel. If you want to better your mind, body, and soul, you need to be taking care of your mind, body, and soul at all times.
Yeah. It definitely does go hand in hand. Let me ask, what are your process for your timing of like your ritual around like the moon phases and the planetary like phases?
That it's a lot of strategy,
Mm-hmm.
and it's very case by case, because to me, just doing, oops, sorry about the kitties. To me, doing witchcraft for the sake of doing witchcraft is not beneficial. I've been noticing that a lot more lately, with it becoming more mainstream, that
Mm-hmm.
people just kind of jump the gun, and they just need to do something for the sake of doing something, and like that's not, to me, truly beneficial.
Yeah.
The key is to identify your need first. Like, if there's a need, if there's something that you are hoping for, wanting, or you want to change or want to bring into your life, it first comes with that, like identifying a need. Then, for my practice, I look at the planetary transits, what is going on in the cosmos, who is communicating with who in a positive way, what is happening, what energies can I be inspired by to help, um, you know, fill this need that I have, and then I go from there. So it's a lot of study, a lot of reevaluating what's literally going on above us, and then from there, if I find a planetary placement, a transit, a moon, a new moon, or a full moon, regardless of what it is, I identify, like, you are the one I want to work with for this specific thing, and then I build around it. And the key is to just try to connect myself to this planetary transit as much as possible. If, let's say, I'm working with a very specific planet, I go into my natal chart and identify, where do you exist within me, and let's focus on that thread of connection first, and then expand on it. So there's lots of logistics when it comes to my type of magic. I'm very logistical. I love kind of building a story, building this kind of world, and then connecting all the dots. Think like those crazy like crime boards where you have all the threads connecting. Like, it's like that. That's kind of how I approach my magic. We're like, all right, so this is my need. This is the inspiration. How do we link it all together? And then, yeah, create a ritual around it. And yes, there's candles involved, there's sometimes crystals, there's sometimes herbs. It really does depend. Again, the need is what feeds everything else.
I love that. Do you think that like people's birth charts and things like that, like whatever, like their signs and stuff, do you think that has anything to do with like what kind of clairvoyancy people have? Because you always hear about people having different kinds of clairvoyancy, like the clairknowing, the hearing, the seeing. Like, do you think there's a correlation with that?
Yes and no, because with any psychic development, like the clairs, I believe that anyone and everyone is capable of strengthening this muscle, right? The pineal gland that we all literally have in our heads is part of our literal DNA, our our structure, and we all have it. And I believe that if you truly want to develop it, you can. But just like athletic talents, musical talents, there's some people that are more naturally gifted. And I do believe that that natural gift could be determined within a natal chart.
Mm-hmm.
If planets and celestial beings and like other transits that, point to psychic ability, or like a keenness to mysticism, and things like that, I do believe that individuals that have a stronger kind of blueprint within them, specifically with that ability, they are naturally more susceptible to waking that up within them. But I believe we're all capable of it.
Yeah.
It's just it all literally depends on how much determination you have, and how much like willpower you're able to kind of pour into that development. So, but
I
I
think
do
it also
believe.
has to do with like how open people are to these concepts, right? Because it wasn't until I became like kind of open to them was when I kind of really like understood it, because I started seeing it in myself and I was like, oh, this is weird. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
what kind of clairvoyancy would you say you have? Because I do believe everybody has it.
Uh, it's interesting. I am working on kind of like developing it. I do believe I do have like a bit of kind of just knowing. Um, I don't want like the the clairgustance or like yeah, like I don't want the ones that you can taste and smell. Like I'm like
Yeah,
no,
I
I
don't
don't want
either
to.
really.
But you know, if it helps you, it helps you. But yes, I am very visual too. But because of me, I don't have those natural enhancers towards psychic abilities. So I do have to like work really hard on it. So I am currently trying to enhance my psychic knowing and psychic development, and then my psychic sight. So like closing my eyes, meditating, and picking up on images that come to mind. So that I have been strengthening the most. Reason being is I've always been really good at visualization. And, like my imagination has always been really, really strong. So it's like, all right, if I already have this skill, let me sharpen it, but towards this direction, which is like a psychic direction. So I've been really focusing on developing that. So I won't say that I have it, like I haven't conquered them, but clear knowing and like the third eye, like the visual prowess of it, that's where I'm focusing my development. So
I also think that's one of those things where it's also like the journey thing, right? Like it's always going to be something that we're kind of working on. Like I don't think there is a way to fully master it or like master them all. Like it would be cool to be like that airbender, like master all that, like the the earth, wind, air, fire.
the avatar.
Yeah, like the
The
avatar.
psychic avatar. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool as fuck, but I don't see that being like kind of in reality in our lifetimes. But
Um, but also to add to that, like in the modern world, because we're already like overstimulated by like life itself, I don't want to walk into a place and like I'm hearing whispers or like I pick up an inanimate object and like I literally feel and like experience a memory of the person that this used to belong to, like right, like I don't want to be hypersensitive in a psychic way because life itself is already a lot, and I am a humble enough human to admit that I don't want to be like this all being all knowing creature. Like I don't want that weight on my shoulders anyway.
yeah,
So
life is already kind of heavy as fuck anyways, but and I feel like that
exactly,
would add to people's like kind of psychosis anyways. I feel like it would drive
definitely,
you crazy. You hear a lot of
exactly,
schizophrenic people like talk about like they can never turn it off.
exactly. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's one of those things that sounds like a blessing and a curse. So yeah, ring check on that. I'm good. I'll stick to my cosmos. Like I don't need to be psychic.
Yeah. It's cool though. How do you like cleanse your tools in astrology?
um, just this is where like the occultist cloak comes in, where that's where I do draw inspiration from, like folklore, magic of traditional like smoke cleansing, energy cleansings. So just same way in that way, where if I need an energetic cleanse after a ritual or working with someone or whatever, I prefer smoke. I love uh, the power of smoke. And then to like looking into kind of like Mexican folklore practices, like using a lot of that too, like limpias con huevo, like when you do a cleanse, like an egg cleanse and things like that.
Hmm.
Like that's something too. Like eventually in my life, in my older life, when I'm a crone, I do want to really focus on like curandismo and like you know Mexican folklore, like version of cleansing and like clearing the mind and body. So but yeah, but right now, traditionally, like if I need a really thorough cleanse, I like smoke. I like to use I like fire and smoke.
Which is
Classic.
crazy because
Keep it
even in
classic.
like a lot of Mexican culture, like I'm black and Mexican, a lot of things that just Mexicans do in general is like witchcraft. It's crazy.
Yeah, and yeah, I grew up like that, and like knowing about that casually. And then on my father's side, I do have like a village witch kind of aunt who still lives in Mexico, and the people would like say things about it, like, oh yeah, she's a village witch, blah blah blah, kind of like in a oh no kind of way.
Hmm.
But I always knowing I was like obsessed with these things. It doesn't matter if I was like super young, like 7 8 years old. I was like what are you talking about? She's rad. Like, I don't know why
Right.
y'all talk shit. Like, she's super cool. Like, she has a nice house, so she's doing something.
Right. But that's like
But
with all
yeah.
Mexicans. I don't know why. Like every time you walk into a Mexican's house, it's always like nice as fuck, clean as fuck. Like it's just crazy. Might smell like
Yeah.
Fabuloso when you walk in there, but shit's gonna be clean as fuck.
Because we're constantly cleansing, man. We're constantly cleansing energy. Like my mother will never admit that she has like witchy attributes, but like I literally learned like the basics of like herbalism from her. Like, you have an
Mhm.
ailment, here's a tea. Something hurts, here's a tea. You're stressed, here's a tea. Like, you're low energy, here, like, literally. So it's like, mom, that's like herbalism. Like,
Yeah.
but she'll never admit it. Or like,
Right.
or the way she like take care of her garden and like pour energy into her garden and like talk to her like plants and stuff. Like, she'll never admit like that's like witchy as hell. She's like, no, what are you talking about? I'm just gardening. I'm like, mom, like, not everyone.
Especially even in like Catholicism, like you'll see a lot of Mexican moms like cleanse the house right after they got done with the altar, and it'll be like
Yeah,
a spiritual cleaning, and then it's just like witchcraft, and then they'll do the physical cleaning, and
they'll
it's just like
never admit it.
right.
So yeah,
But all the signs are there.
all the signs are that. And then growing up and then like learning about like actually purposely like learning about it, and I like read the things. I'm like, wait, I kind of already been doing that.
Right.
Or like candle magic, like, you need to pray for someone. Oh, so did you hear so and so, they're going through a bad time, let's light a candle for them. I'm like, that's a candle spell.
Right.
What are you talking
That's
about?
intent. That's a candle spell. That's grounding. That's everything.
No, it's not. So yeah, no, it's same. So I kind of had to work backwards, where like I already was doing this stuff, I just had to learn where it belonged, I guess, like
Hmm.
where to kind of pin it to. But it was there, like. And also too, like, my first introduction to like crystals was my mom. Like, she had all these like like egg prosperity crystals, where they were like, there were crystals in the shape of eggs, and she's literally had them like since I was really young. So like these crystals are like approaching like 30 years old. And yeah, she'll never admit that's like witchy as hell. But I was like,
Hmm.
no, like, what are you talking about, mom? Like, these are prosperity crystals. It's like, no, they're just eggs that bring me good luck. And I'm like, those are prosperity crystals. And she'll never admit that.
The
She's the
signs
reason
are
why
always
I'm
there,
like, yeah.
man.
She'll never admit that she's the reason why I'm like this. So yeah.
Yep, you grew up in the culture.
Exactly.
What would you say is like your favorite part of like the occult film? Like as a whole.
To sum it up, to me, the occult is the greatest self-investment you can do for yourself.
I always tell people it's the best thing since sliced bread.
Bread is pretty up there,
Yeah.
but no, yeah, I think to me, if I truly sum it up, it is that it's the greatest self-investment you can do for yourself, where you get to have fun, you get to explore curiosities, you get to learn fascinating things, you get to expand your mind and your world, you get to learn new perspective. Like, there's so much to it. So that's why I just kind of sum it up as a self-investment. And also, it's to better your life, right? If life isn't going right for you, and you're tired of it and you want to change it, getting into a spiritual practice is very helpful for that. Obviously, there's tons of more things you can do to help yourself. It all depends on, what people are going through, but it's just such a great self-service that you can do, is dedicate to something meaningful to you. I think it's just very powerful in itself. So it doesn't even need to be occult related, just anything, like following your passions, following your interests, like chasing your dreams and things like that, like all those self-serving um actions you can take. I think it falls in line with that. So to me, it's just, yeah, to sum it up, the one of the greatest self-investments you can do.
Yeah, I love that. What's advice you would give somebody that's wanting to start like planetary practice? Because it is kind of niche, right? Like you're the only one that I know that does planetary practice, like cosmic witchcraft stuff. Like that shit's super cool to me. Like I don't know much about it, but everything that you tell me about it seems cool as fuck. I'm like, ooh.
So what advice exactly are you looking for? Like to like get
Like if somebody
started
wanted to
and
get into it, like if somebody were to ask me that about like death magic and like spirit communication, I would tell them just to start opening themselves up to spirit, because before I started that, I wasn't. Like, I was completely closed off to it without even really noticing. So I would tell them, okay, step one, maybe allow yourself to be on that frequency with them and open yourself up to spirit, and then they'll come naturally. So what advice would you give somebody with your kind of practice?
okay. So if someone were to want to explore a planetary practice, um, first of all, like I'm gonna like say you don't need to study astrology to be a planetary practitioner. I know it sounds like it's like you need one for the other, but
Mm-hmm.
not really. I think personally, step one, if someone seriously wanted to work with the cosmos in a way, is it's gonna sound super nerdy, but whatever. Study our solar system. Literally, step one. Study our solar system, not in a super like um scholarly way, like don't like you don't have to enroll into like science classes or anything, or like astronomy classes or like astrophysics or anything like that, but just like going back to the basics of like what you would study like in high school of like the solar system, starting there. And the reason why I say this is because it is very humbling to truly understand how small we are. And
Mm-hmm.
again, that sounds super like freaking morbid,
Do you ever
but it's
watch those
not.
videos where it's like it'll start at the Earth and then it'll go to
Yeah.
like the sun or the moon and then the sun and then the
Okay.
our galaxy and then the next galaxy and then the universe? It's crazy.
Oh
Those
yeah.
videos always trip me the fuck out.
Okay. So like pause on the question. I have like a fun recommendation for everybody. All right. There's this YouTube channel. I think it's called Stargaze,
Mm-hmm.
and they have these amazing videos that I'm like obsessed with, where they are entering a planet's atmosphere simulators. So the POV is like you are supposedly like in a spacesuit and you are entering a planet's atmosphere, and like through the process it's like talking you through like, all right, so you just entered the atmosphere, and the atmosphere is made of metal, and like the rain is made of
Which
glass,
is
and
crazy, right?
it's so amazing, it's so educational, it's so fascinating, and it's like so immersive, and my nerdy ass loves it because it's like it makes me feel closer to the planets.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a very, very fascinating YouTube channel that I highly recommend if anyone is interested, because it really paints the picture of how like amazing our solar system is, how incredibly fascinating all of the planets in our solar system are and beyond. Like, so that's like step one. If you are interested in a planetary practice, is honor the planets by their true forms, not an archetype, not like this celestial being. No, like literally as they are, as they exist above us. And to me, that's very important and very powerful in my magic. If I am tapping into a planet's energy, I literally visualize them, like their literal self, like how they exist in our solar system. So that's step one. And then after that, like allowing yourself to like follow the breadcrumbs and go down that rabbit hole of how deep you want to take this. Do you want to just work with the planets in our solar system? Do you want to go beyond that? Completely up to you. I want to go far and beyond. That's why I like to call myself a cosmic bruja, not just a solar system bruja or like
A Milky Way blue, bro.
yeah. You know what? That would be an amazing shirt. I'm not even gonna lie. Milky Way bruja. That's hilarious. But yeah, like whatever, however you want to take it, like however far you want to go, starting there, and then after that, I do suggest people looking into the traditional form of planetary magic, because there is a traditional form um, to go about it, and kind of mending those both worlds. Again, parallels are very important to me, so I love mixing the astronomy and the astrology. I love the science and the magic equally, and also because I believe that like science is a form of magic. Like, I mean,
Yeah, I think so too. And just
science is
the
cool.
universe is like never ending too. It's so big. Like I'm always so curious when I see like images of the universe and whatnot. Like you always see the Earth, right? It always
Mhm.
shows you like what's in front of it, kind of what's behind it, but they never really show like what's down there. Like if you go down, and I'm like, what the fuck is down there? Like that shit, or like up, you know?
Who knows? Who knows? That's that's the vastness of it. Like it's so expansive, and that's why I like to kind of start in that way of like, and I'm also a person about it's really important to stay in the real world. I know the mystical world is so much fun and like detaching from reality is so
But like, what
enticing.
is reality? Like if everything, like we're on a ball spinning, and then we're spinning around the sun, and the sun is spinning, and then our galaxy is like everything is spinning for some reason, and it's so weird. Like so
Yes,
reality in itself is just weird. So I think anything that our minds can possibly think of, I think it can be real because
yes,
everything is ridiculous at the same time.
yeah. It's like you know how they say like what's that saying? Like life is like stranger than fiction. So
Hmm.
but yeah, but yes, that parallel of like just working with like the literal essence of the planets and then also like their spiritual properties. So like step one is just admiring them for their beautiful existence, and then step two is looking into their spiritual properties and kind of dancing with the two until you discover like your need. And once you're ready to work with the planets, it's like, all right, what is my need, what do I need? And then you look at all these properties of these planets, it's like, all right, so it's like I my confidence is low. Look into the planets, it's like these planets literally exude confidence or courage or energy, life force, things like that, and then kind of going from there. So it again back to like my original thing is it's all about identifying a need, right? It's very important to just follow your needs and not just doing things for the sake of doing them. So that
Hmm.
would be like that would be my main advice is kind of dancing with the two.
So do you believe like each planet has like a spirit kind of attached to them and whatnot? Because I think so. And I think a lot of people, whether they admit it or not, they would say that the earth is alive or it has something that kind of, and if you think that way, then yeah, it would make sense that every other planet out there and stars have their own deity or spirit. Because that's what I got from when you were talking about it just now. It almost sounds like you're looking at the planets like they're a deity, like use them when you need them,
Yes.
right? Get
So
their
it's
power when
funny.
you need them, like you would like a normal deity.
Exactly. So I I kind of call them saints.
Hmm.
I kind of I work with them more like saints, but yeah, deity, saints, it doesn't matter. And I guess that goes back to like my Catholic upbringing that I'm very grateful I don't have religious trauma. Com-
Same.
Grateful
You can
I don't
differentiate the two, right?
yeah, like
Hmm.
of course it's not ideal to be forced to go to church if you don't want whatever, but at the end of the day it's like no, it wasn't a terrible experience. I had a very open-minded mother who was both spiritual and a Catholic, so you know it wasn't like strict and like restricting in any way. So watching growing up and watching like for example my mother's practice with like the saints that she likes to work with and things like that, that did kind of help build my blueprint of when I did decide to devote myself to something, that was a way to kind of go about it, right? So I do work with the planets like they're saints in a
Hmm.
way, but you can say deity, you can say another god or whatever, plug whatever name archetype you want. But yeah, I do work with them like they are saints. Like I do work with them like they are entities of their own. Because I don't know, like they're just they're just so grand and so beautiful. How can I not like I don't know, look at them in that way? I don't
And it does
know.
go so deep. Like if we get the energy from the moon, who's to say we can't get the energy from the earth, but we're living on this place. You know what I mean? Imagine you were on the moon and getting the energy from the moon. Like that'd be weird. Like I never even thought about that until now. Like, you know how they say the moon cleanses? What if you're
Hmm.
up there like cleansing on the moon? That would be
It's
fucking
just
crazy. Yeah.
well, think about it. Like here on Earth, you hear about grounding, centering, touching grass, things like that, and like yeah, that is so true. Connecting with Earth, connecting with Mother Nature is very important. But guess what? Earth is just one planet. It's not even the biggest. It is tiny compared to some of these other planets and stars and like all of that. So imagine the power of its siblings, of its companions, like all the other planets in our just our solar system alone, right? So imagine like going far beyond it, where there's planets and other moons. Like in my practice, I do eventually plan to work with not just the Earth. I want to work with more moons, not just
Yeah, I was
Earth's
gonna say
moons.
Jupiter has like 60 something moons. It's
I think
crazy.
it's like 96 actually.
Yeah,
So
it's something
yeah,
crazy like that.
yeah, and other planets too. Like other planets have tons of different moons, and so like and and they're technically like in our Milky Way. So why not? So eventually, I do plan on like expanding my universe
Hmm.
to the outer.
Expanding your Milky Way. No, I'm kidding.
Exactly. I'm like I feel like Silver Surfer. I'm just gonna be like riding the cosmic waves.
Yeah. And it's so crazy because like I said earlier with that video, when you watch when it just kind of like expands, like the Milky Way is just one galaxy out of like billions of galaxies. So it's like
Hmm. Yeah,
it's
and then
crazy. There's just
you love aliens, right? So it's like,
hmm
you know what? Our practices are not that different. They're not
it's
that.
really not.
They're equally crazy.
Hmm. Yeah, because I will hear it when I'm talking to other people about my practice and stuff, and they're just like, I'll explain it to them like I'm doing a practice, but it's instead of pointing it to because I used to only do this DeFi meditation, and it would be towards like the NHI, like the UFOs and whatnot, but it wasn't really to spirit. That was when I was still closed off to spirit. But yeah, it's not that different. It's just wherever you point it to. Like you can point it to spirit, you can point it to the universe, you can point it to the cosmos, to UAP, to consciousness.
Hmm.
It's wherever
Yeah.
you that's why I totally believe that witchcraft, the paranormal, UFOs, like everything is connected because it's just wherever you point that intent, it's where it's gonna go.
Yeah. Even like even your higher power, like you were saying, like right now in your practice, you don't. And I love that too. I love that like back to like my belief that this is like the greatest self investment. Like you are living, breathing that, right? Where like you are newer to your practice, but you are dedicating yourself so much because you understand that we're like, this is for me
Hmm.
and I need me to do this. So right now, I'm only focusing on me and tapping into my higher self, my higher power. And then in the future, if you do decide to expand that, fantastic. But you starting off like this is like so beneficial. Like it's so gratifying, right? Like so self fulfilling.
It is like
Uh,
liberating almost. Like it
yeah.
feels like it's never gonna stop because you're always gonna be learning it for one. And then it's just like it just makes you excited for the next thing that you're gonna learn. But not for the what you're gonna learn, but the process of the learning it.
Hmm.
It's like when you
Honoring the
find a new
process.
like rabbit hole you're gonna go down. It's like, ooh, this is fun.
Yeah, honoring every step of the way too is very, very important. Where it's okay if you fumble, it's okay if things didn't turn out the way you were expecting. Like every situation is like a lesson to learn from. Like all of that, like all of that, all of that, all of that. It's so true.
I love that. Let's see. What's a retrograde? A retrograde. You always hear this term when it comes to astrology and whatnot. And I don't even see. This is how new I am to like astrology. I only really know that I'm a Cancer because I'm born in July 4th. But like, what's a retrograde?
in in a scientific sense, it's nothing.
Hmm.
In a scientific sense, it really is nothing. It doesn't really mean anything. It's an illusion. So it's like an optical illusion, where each planet. I know Mercury is the most popular one because everyone talks about it and like technology starts flaking. But it's also the most common one. Like Mercury goes retrograde 4 times a year on average. All the other planets do once, twice tops. But in a like scientific sense, it is essentially an optical illusion where it appears that from the point of view of Earth, a planet is rotating backwards. And when that happens, spiritually, the properties that that planet rules are like at a stop. For example, like a really, really easy one to kind of help grasp it is, well, let's just use Mercury, right? Because it's the most popular one. Mercury being the planet of communication, technology, intellect, how you absorb and intake and exchange information. Like that is what it rules. So when it's direct, meaning when it's normal, that's what it's influencing us with, right? It's aiding us in these categories. But when it goes retrograde, all of these characteristics that it rules, they are in a funk. They're having some technical difficulties, right? So if it rules communication and is going retrograde, what happens? There's more chances of miscommunication, misspeaking, stumbling on your words, or coming off a little bit too blunt, all of that. In technology too, if it rules technology on a good day, what happens when it's in retrograde? Technology flakes. There's usually like really like crashes, or this has happened so many times where like Microsoft like has like a breach, and this has literally happened historically so many times where like tech companies have breaches, or like an upgrade that was corrupted, like during Mercury retrogrades, like historically that has happened. So things like that, and like that happens with every other planet. So whatever properties that they rule when they're direct, it is a moment to pause and slow down when they are also experiencing a retrograde. So it's that in a scientific and a spiritual sense.
And I'm sure you always think about that too, because I know I think about that all the time. Like, how weird is it that we're like right in the perfect spot for like life to exist? And if we were like a planet to the left or to the right, like it would be either too cold or too hot. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, because it all stems from the distance from the sun. So the way the planets react with each other and the way they rotate, the way they move. Like we talked about this before, where like every planet, like a day on each planet is completely different. Like here on Earth, well, it's not even 24 hours anymore, but I don't even want to get into that. But technically here on Earth, we are living in a 23 point something, something, something day. But in other planets, depending on the distance from the sun, the days are longer. And the more farther they are from the sun, it rotates slower. So time is all based on a
It's
point in
artificial.
time.
Yeah.
No, not even. It's like time is literally a calculation from
The sun.
the rotation of the planet. So like the sun is what aids in the rotations of the planets, and depending on how close you are to the sun, you're rotating faster. And that's literally what time is like a calculation of how quickly these rotations are happening. So that's all that is.
That's crazy. Because I think they said the Earth is spinning like 1,200 miles an hour, and then we're spinning like 12,000 miles an hour around the sun.
And now we're
The
technically
galaxy is like spinning like 1.2 million miles an hour. I'm like, how the fuck is everything spinning? Like before I jumped on here, I was watching this, like, like how fast is the Earth spinning type of videos. Like, do you ever watch those like astrophysicists? Do you have a favorite?
Oh, dude, Brian Cox, all the way.
Oh, he's good. I love that guy.
He's my dude, like he was like my childhood crush. Like when I tell you I've been a cosmic nerd all my life. I've been a cosmic nerd all my life. Like in school, in primary or high school, whatever, anytime we would get like a science, like solar system, like project, I'm like, oh, nobody do nothing. I'll build a diorama. I'll do. But no, yeah, he's my favorite. Like obviously, like everyone like loves Neil deGrasse Tyson. But no, I like Brian Cox is like my favorite. He's so brilliant. They're all brilliant, but if I had to just pick one, like
I think Neil deGrasse is more of like the Bill Nye of the astrophysics, right? He's definitely like the most mainstream one, but Brian Cox is cool as fuck. I like that dude. I watch all his Joe Rogan.
He's a real one.
Yeah,
he's amazing. Yeah, I wish like sometimes I do wish I'm like, should I just like went into that field, but like science it's so hard. So
it's crazy. Physics is crazy. It's magic.
Astrophysics is insane. Well, science is is insane, but like astrophysics is incredibly amazing, but it's just like mathematics on steroids.
Do you ever see yourself going into that field one day?
Oh no, I think that ship has sailed. It's like
Why?
I don't know.
It's
Just
never too late. You're still
I have
young, so
so
like there's still
I
plenty of
have so many
time.
projects. I have so many other things I want to do. So it's like first I want to get my doctorate in astrology first, and then maybe I do want to take some astronomy courses just for fun, but yeah, to like dedicate 5-10 years to that, it's like nah, it's okay. But I
Yeah, and
rather
that's what I'm doing with psychology. It's like, okay, for the next 12 years, I'm stuck. Like, because I plan on getting a doctorate as well, but it's like, fuck, I'm going to be like 27 now. I'll be like 40 by the time I'm done. And you know what I mean? But I think it'll be worth it. But hopefully I still look young. But
but that's cool because like you can do the thing where like you just like bleach a little bit of your hair so you kind of like look like that old
yeah.
wise
Hmm.
man. So it's like
A lot of
give
people were doing
yourself
that
that
these days
credibility.
too. I'm like, it's like a trend. Like people were dyeing their shit like
It's because
Game of
the new
Thrones platinum. Yeah.
yeah it's because what's it called, like the new Fantastic Four came out, so everyone wants
Hmm.
that silver fox look.
Yeah. What are you drinking over there?
Tea. So I made a nice concoction of lemon balm and nettle.
Ooh.
Just yeah, something just delicious and nutritious.
I'm over here drinking a Coke. I hope you don't hear my stomach like making weird noises. Because I can hear it in my headphones and it's so loud. I'm like, oh my God, this is horrible.
This is why I gotta keep the conversation going. Even when I wanted live, it's like, oh, I'd rather have a live because it's less editing, but this is the
Oh
things I
my
gotta edit.
God. And it's so hilarious because I'll take a sip and it'll be like, and I'm like, oh my God, it's so loud.
Oh no, it's a ghost.
Oh my God. Speaking of ghosts, though, have you had any like experiences lately, like with ghosts?
Yes. Not lately, like in the last couple of weeks, but no, yeah, a few months ago, I was experiencing something uninvited, and it got a little spooky here in my apartment, and I had to kind of kick them out because it was very unexpected. And my theory is that it came from our neighbors, and there's like a lot of history with the apartment next door where me and my partner always joke like, oh, it's cursed, because no joke, like there's been so many tenants in and out of there because I don't know, like when they first move in it's chill, and then out of nowhere, like you just hear them arguing, like I don't know, like there's something in that apartment that like just freaking kills the vibe. Like it's negative in some way. Is my like belief, because I've seen this happen like 4 or 5 different tenants, and they go in and it's all chill, and then I don't know where they start like fighting a lot, arguing a lot. You just hear like a lot of just unhappy arguments happening, and yeah, so it's like something's always been up. And then in recent a few months ago, I I made a big mistake where I got a package from my front door barefoot. So my bare feet touched the toxic ground. And I brought the package in, and things started happening right after that. And my suspicion is, and I don't know, I grew up this way. Like my mother taught me that you just like don't step barefoot onto like areas that aren't safe, like energetically, or just in general, like it's just not good to be barefoot. And the philosophy behind that, like the spiritual philosophy behind that, is our feet are what takes us from point A to point B. So our feet are really important. Like we should treat our feet like as sacred, right? Like protect our feet because they literally take us from point A to point B. And I didn't do that. I usually have like slips on or something when I go outside, but for this I was like, oh, let me just get this real quick, whatever. And I made the mistake of stepping barefoot and like literally having like a energetic footprint come into my space. And from that moment on, things are weird. Anytime I'll be working on my work desk, I literally feel something behind me where like I have to look because it literally feels like someone's like peeking at me from like a corner in my apartment, and just like little things like that. I was like, okay, weird, whatever. Then out of nowhere, like there was like this weird noise or like shift or something in the apartment, and like it scared the hell out of my cats to the point where they like puffed up. Like when cats really get scared, like they get puffy, like their tails look like raccoons, and they've never done that. And even I got spooked because it literally felt like someone was in my apartment. Like if because I have two doors, I have like a main door, then I have a back door, and it felt like when let's say
You have
like
a
when
back
someone
door to your apartment?
yeah, just don't worry about it.
That's crazy.
It's like it's a weird upstairs thing, balcony kind of thing. So like technically the back door is like leads to a balcony that you can go downstairs. So
Hmm.
I never use the main door. The main door is like super sealed up. I don't use it. I like to go out the patio way. But if the apartment felt like if someone were to like enter the apartment and they were like waiting in the back like for me to greet them. Like it I don't know how else to explain it. It just felt like someone came in. Even I was like, whoa, 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 what the hell? And the cats again, they were puffy and they were like scared to turn the corner into the back room area. I'm like, whoa, what the hell? And then I go to the back, absolutely nothing. Nothing's here, whatever. But I had this like anxiety. Like, why do I feel uncomfortable? I don't understand. And the cats are obviously like all spooked up. Okay, weird. But I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna overthink things. I'm just gonna let it be. And the following days, I kept feeling that sensation of like someone's looking at me, someone's peeking over the corner, like sensations like that. Like I'm not alone. And this like weird, strange, like uncomfortable feeling, like something's uninvited. And I want to preface too, I'm not a scaredy cat when it comes to these things. I've seen apparitions before. Like I work in I work with spirit communication. I can do ouija and dowsing rods and candle work and scrying. So like I am not a novice to like spirit communication. So come to a good place where like I feel like my discernment is strong. Where like, is this me being nervous or am I picking on something that's making me uncomfortable? You know what I mean? Like I've been really good at being able to discern what is my nerves and what is outside of me.
Hmm.
And this felt the best way I can describe it is something felt uninvited, unwelcomed, and that's what I kept feeling. And I had this just instinct of I'm not even gonna bother communicating with this. I just want it gone. And yes, some people can be like, "Oh, that's a missed opportunity to like do some spooky shit and get your, you know,
Hmm.
your ghost gear on and like investigate." But this is my home. This is my space, and
And you can tell the difference. You said the most important part, the
yeah,
discernment, and
yeah,
that's key. That's one of those like step ones of like if you want to really get good and like solid in your practice and like knowing and not being scared, like that's really good that you said that because a lot of people would just turn on Spirit Talker and be like, "What the fuck is here?" But if you're already
hmm
knowing that you're not scared of these things, but yet you feel it playing on your emotions, you feel it messing with you and making you feel uneasy. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. So that's what I did. So I allowed a whole day to pass after the spook incident where like my cats had a physical reaction that they never had before, right? So like let me let the energy settle and then I don't want to do anything out of emotion. I want to be logical about this. Uh and so I let a few days passed and I also spoke to some other friends of mine who are actual paranormal investigators and got some advice. Then I'm like, okay, and let me tap in with myself. Let me tap into my intuition. What is it telling me? And the most consistent feeling I kept getting is you're unwelcome, you're uninvited. So that's like, all right, that's it. I'm not gonna keep asking for signs and signals and like ignore them, right? It's like, all right, I already double, triple checked my sensations, whatever. So after that, I did a very thorough cleanse of the entire place, kicked it out, and then fortified my protection wards and added some new ones. So yeah, yeah, so it was just one of those things, and nothing too glamorous, nothing too movie movie magic, but it's just, sometimes it really is just like that. Like I they don't you don't have to see something fly across the room or like a shadow figure. Sometimes it really is subtle. Sometimes it really is like paying attention to what's in the corner of your eye, what do you feel, like the hair behind your neck, and like it really is sensory. Like you need to tap
And it
into
is
your
different than
senses.
like a normal paranormal investigation, right? Because
Yeah.
it's in your house. Like you're doing the same things, but you're just trying to get to the root of it. I feel like a lot of paranormal investigators, they're kind of, they'll go somewhere, stir up the shit, and then like bounce, right? Like
Yeah.
it's happening in your house. So you're like trying to really figure it out. Like you don't have any other motives other
Yeah.
than to like figure it out, like actually. So I
Yeah.
see it as being different than like an investigation, but you're using
Thousand
all
percent.
those ESP, like the extrasensory perception kind of tools like that you already have. So super cool.
Exactly. And then on the other vein is when I do want to invite something in, it's like a whole setup. It's kind of like when you're having a dinner party, right? There's a pregame to it, right? You're setting the
Hmm.
table, you're making sure there's like food, there's a door, you know what I mean, whatever. So when I am having a purposeful spirit communication, I set the scene, I set up my protection wards. I recently enchanted a rope to be my physical circle. So, and I talked to you about this before, where um, in the occult, and especially like in spirit communication or like invoking anything, it is like just classic, right? The classic salt around you as a protection ward, right? But in a modern world, setting up a salt circle is like not practical. And also,
Yeah,
I do not have the money to buy gallons and gallons of salt and set up a salt circle around me, then vacuum it up. Like that's just not practical. Yes, it looks
right.
cool, whatever, for the aesthetics, it's rad, but it's not practical. So I'm like, what? How can I create this same type of like force field around me, obviously in a different way? And like the first thing that came to me was like a rope. So I went and bought like a white rope, and I did this whole ritual with it to consecrate it with like very specific intentions and properties. And like, this is your assigned task, this is your purpose now. And I love it so much, and it's worked great so far. Obviously, I'll, if cleanse it, recharging it as frequently as I need to. But it's been fantastic to set this up first around me, and then setting up a candle, and then using whatever medium I want, whether it's my Ouija or my dowsing rods. And I usually do use it alongside like one of the apps, like either the Seer app or Spirit Talker. I think it's cool to have a variety, because I've noticed that too, where especially the Ouija board, it's like sometimes like you sense more hesitation of like, depending on who you've invited in, it's like maybe they don't like it, maybe it's too difficult for them, who knows. um
Do you
but it
notice the
when
difference though, like how spirit may look at you if you go into it without those protections and wards and things like that, or without those divination tools versus if you do have them? Like I'll do like spirit talker and then have an EVP going, and then I'll do ritual just to make sure I'm safe and everything's all good and protected and all that good stuff. But I've noticed the difference when I don't do those things versus when I do.
Yeah, same. So it's like, to do them, it's like you're kind of having like you're controlling the crowd. So
Yeah.
when I do that, when I have these parameters, it's like I'm only calling forth people that are, or spirits that are willing to have a honest, serious, like real conversation. Like when you were in a flesh form and you were sitting down to talk to someone, to have a conversation, like that's how I want you to feel when I want you to be treated, and then vice versa. I want you to treat me with that same respect. When you don't have these parameters, you just have all these like unsolicited chatty Cathys coming in. It's like, I don't, no, we're not doing that. I'm not taking orders. I'm not. No, I'm not here to
It's
ride
like a
your
way to
boat.
like filter through it. And
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
when you do filter through it like that, I think they do like see that, and they kind of
Yeah.
like the ones that are like there not to bullshit with you, or like they'll come through and they'll give you
Yeah.
honest shit. But like other than that, like the ones that aren't, they'll kind of stay away or stay further back is what I've noticed.
Yeah. And again, like I'm not coming to the practice to be like a paranormal investigator where like I'm just trying to just mess around and like see what comes through. It's like no, it's like I have a purpose. Like I have
Yeah, like there's a purpose, right?
yeah, there's a purpose for it. Where like I just want to have a super cool like meaningful
Yeah,
conversation or like
sometimes you just want to have a chat in the night, right?
exactly, and that's okay. So yeah, and like I why would I want to invite something rude into my home? You know what I mean? Like
I've been doing that a lot like lately, like with discernment and everything, trying to get used to the spirits like around like the local ones around here. I think I told you about that, but it's like
yeah,
that's me really like lately trying to work on that type of discernment is before I go to bed and saying like, all right, I remembered you today, tomorrow. Let's see if I can pick you out of the crowd tomorrow, and I'll remember you tomorrow. And then like when I go to take a drink of water, like this first sip is for you, my first bite is for you, like little
oh, that's
things like that,
sweet.
you know. But it's been working and it's been pretty cool. But it's not for like a paranormal investigation kind of
Mm-hmm.
like wait, it's just for me. Like it's not for
Yeah,
anything else.
yeah, same,
So
exactly for me.
it's super
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. So it's like because it's different. Where like if you're doing spirit communication at home, you do want to kind of have you want to control the environment. But obviously,
Yeah.
if you're going to somewhere that isn't home, you're technically going into their home. You can't like you can't like get upset if like the reaction isn't going to be good or if you're dealing with all these different energies like what are you talking about like you interrupted their space so
But at your
you're
home, you can definitely control the variables, right?
exactly and I want to control the variables because again like I'm not alone. I have my partner, I have my cats, so it's like no like I don't want something in here lingering that like let's say I can handle it but like they can't or they don't want to or like also too it's like why have like a foreign energy in your home, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like to me it's completely different. But obviously if I were to go and try to do spirit communication somewhere else, then I'm a little bit less restricted where like I still protect myself, but I am allowing myself to be more open, be like whoever wants to come forward and you know,
I'm the same way.
that's it.
Like whenever I'm
Yeah,
doing it like out and about and not at my home, like it's definitely a kind of I'm coming at it like anybody's welcome. I just want to see if any if anybody will come through. But when
exactly.
I'm at home, it's definitely me wanting like the good spirits to come through. The ones that
Exactly.
I'm like, I remembered you yesterday. I'm gonna remember you tomorrow too. Just because you were cool yesterday. So let's be cool tomorrow too, right?
Yeah, yeah, you're being like your friendly neighborhood
It's like
ghost.
being hospitable, right? Like hospitality
Yeah,
and like just being chill with them all the time, leaving them little offerings around the house and whatnot. It's cool.
yeah.
Like when you get in that habit of doing that, it's like I live alone, but it's like I'm not alone. So it's weird.
No,
It's like, right,
that's kind of cool though. I think it's really cool. And then why not be chummy with the with your ghost tenants? You know, I
right.
don't know. Like better
Like you
have
don't got to
good.
be Casper, but like you don't got to be a dick either. Like we could chill. Like I'll put on a movie. I'll put on like I kind of treat them like like I'll do things like without even noticing it. Like I might leave the house and put on like Nat Geo, like they're a dog or something. Like okay, here watch the lion go get the zebra now. Like I'm gonna be gone for an hour.
That's kind of adorable. And you know what? Good for you.
Yeah, it's just little things like that. I'm just trying to get into like a daily habit, but that's all with the death witchcraft and just incorporating those things into like the daily like, and it's super fun because you can tell that they appreciate it. They probably laugh at it a lot of the times, honestly, but it's better than
Yeah,
them like,
look at this kid being all crazy.
yeah. It's cool though. I enjoy it.
No, yeah, I think so too. And like if they continue showing themselves to you, like that is an indicator that they appreciate it. And um, yeah, and a few months ago when I was visiting my sister in California, we did have like an impromptu uh, investigation where they were sensing for a while in their college house that there was definitely a spirit there, and they can just feel it. They had all these experiences, like things being in a different place, like all the things, all the classic tropes where like you just don't feel alone, you hear things when there shouldn't be noise upstairs and things like that. So when I went to visit, they told me about it. I'm like, well, do you want me to try to connect with it? And they're like, yeah, would you? I'm like, I so happen to have my EMF reader and my because
Mm-hmm.
who doesn't travel, right, with
Yeah, I'm one of those weirdos that keeps my EVP on me.
sitting. I was like, oh, I have like in my purse, I have my chapstick, I have my wallet, I have my EMF reader, just whatever. So yeah, so I'm like, you know what? All right, let's actually see what's up, just for funsies. And then it turned into like, you know, something real quick. And yeah, I first started classic, like turning on the apps and the EMF reader, and just like speaking out to just like the house spirit itself, like, hello, introducing myself, like, if anyone is here, like, please show yourself, or I'm here to connect with you and give you a voice, um, and see how you're doing, how you're feeling. Like, if you want to, you know, speak to me, this is your chance for for your presence to be known. And then boom, I started getting like all of these messages, and
It's like an acknowledgement because they're seeing that okay, most people would get scared shitless, like if they were to knock or like make a noise or make themselves known, but they see you like kind of reaching out to them, like I'm doing this for them. Like show yourself.
yeah,
Like now's a good time. You're in a safe space. It's like you're opening the door for them just
yeah.
to talk openly and freely. You can. I think they appreciate that.
And I think so too, because that was the consensus. So like the whole thing like took like an hour, and like there was like different responses. I was going between like different apps. First I was using like the Seer. I like to start with the Seer just to kind of get a general vibe, and then if I'm getting if I'm seeing like the energies of like, depending on the images, like the images that were coming out were all depicting signs of like loneliness, longing, neglect, and lots of like flowers kept showing up. It was very interesting because when I went to go visit, it was during graduation season. That's why I went to go visit, because my sister was graduating college. So this ghost is, and everyone in their house was also graduating. So they were obviously receiving a lot of flowers and gifts, like congratulatory gifts for graduating. So like images were all like of like looking out a window and like looking sad and looking lonely and like looking at flowers but like all sad. So it's like I just like switched from the Seer app to the Spirit Talker. I was like, are you lonely? Do you want flowers dedicated to you? Like I started asking questions that, and then yeah, the responses started coming. And then in one of the images too that I got was like this like sunbeam kind of thing, and I'm like, is there a room in here where like light is shining through? And they're like, yeah, upstairs has a sunlight. I'm like, oh shit, let's go. And it was like a spiral staircase as well. So we went with the spiral staircase. The EMF reader started boop, 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 boop. And I'm like, bro, I think this is the portal. And like, my sister's like, no, yeah, like it's the spiral staircase. And the spiral staircase literally has like a sun, like a skylight pointing down at it.
I love
But
those kind of staircases.
so cool. And I'm like, all right, this is definitely the portal, the spiral staircase, being illuminated day and night by moonlight and sunlight because of the skylight. So like this is
And it's
definitely both the
concentrated
images.
too. If there's
Yeah,
like a light right there, it's
yeah.
yeah.
And then I immediately, when I got up the stairs, I got this tightness in my chest. And then one of my sister's roommates was like also like, ooh, and I'm like, did your chest get tight right now? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, we're in the right place. And they're like, like they were all like excited. I'm like, all
Mm-hmm.
right, everyone sit on the floor. Let's see what's going on. And we just kept talking, and then we just kept getting responses. And it was like a really great conversation. And then a name finally came up, and the name was Anna. And then we gave her a name. We have an idea of what she kind of looked like. We believe she was like a redhead, because all the images I was getting were like redheaded people. And yeah, and then that same day, my sister offered them some flowers as well. Like, hey Anna, here's some flowers for you. It was just like a beautiful, just
It's wholesome, right?
wholesome as
Wholesome as fuck.
ghost experience. Yeah. So sometimes it doesn't need to be all crazy and dramatic, and sometimes it really is just connection, like human connection or like energetic connection, right? So it was very beautiful. I was like, oh, like I felt really fulfilled. I was like, we did something, and um, hope they're doing okay, and I hope that the new roommates are doing okay because that's the sad part too. It's a college house, so eventually when they graduate, they leave. Like, so I think that too, like that longing of like I'm stuck here and I keep seeing all these young people in and out, and they're like fulfilling their dreams in their lives, and I'm just here. So it's just that's the sensation, like this sadness, this longness, like maybe this person died too young, so they're just like like, damn, I wish I could hang out with
You
these
can tell though
college
that
kids.
ghosts and spirit they crave that shit. Like any kind of like getting energy from like young people, especially. Do you think energy is like almost like a currency or not, or like how they is that what do you think that they want is like energy in like different kind of ways? Like you just thinking about them and being nice to them and wholesome to them.
Yeah,
Like I can see them like liking that and like loving and wanting that shit because
dude, like
maybe
we're
most
like,
people would get scared and like banish them or whatever. Like, you know what I
mhm.
mean?
No, I think too, like being acknowledged is so powerful.
Yeah.
Like, think about
Just
how
feeling
many,
seen.
yeah, feeling seen, exactly, like being heard and being seen is such a powerful act of kindness to us, like just us humans. So imagine to be now this new version of that, right? This fleshless version. You're just energy now. You're just a spirit, and you haven't had that interaction in a while. How sad, like that depravity, like how tragic that is, right? Where you're
Hmm.
like, oh crap, like I'm like nothing to these people. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's just so sad and so tragic. So I do think like just giving them a voice, acknowledging them, giving them space, like that is so profound. And if that helps them in any way, like that's incredible. Like I don't know, like I don't know, like, it's a beautiful exchange of energy, and what a and I only hope that I get the same kind of respect when I'm in that situation. When I'm a spirit, hell yeah, I
Yeah.
want someone to give me space and give me a voice.
Yeah, because you can see when it happens. Like when I wasn't doing this way and like dedicating the first sip of water or like I didn't know ghosts like Coke, Dr. Pepper and shit like that. Like when you dedicate it and be like, this is for you, my
Yeah,
guy, like I got you. You can tell they appreciate that and damn, this guy is thinking about me when nobody else is probably thinking about me. Like
yeah,
it's
exactly.
cool.
And then also too, like in my culture, like we believe like there's multiple deaths, but like the ultimate death is to be forgotten.
Yeah.
And if you can keep someone's memory alive, like
It's like
me,
Coco.
yeah, yes, exactly. And that literally that stems from like a real tradition that's existed for
Hmm.
like hundreds of years, right? So, um, but yeah, like it is very true. Like when we don't exist in someone's memory, in someone's heart, that's truly when we die. So it's like, yeah, you want to keep the memory alive and keep their name alive and all of that. And the only way by doing that is to acknowledge and give them
And it's free
space. And
99 too. Like it
yeah, that's
doesn't cost anything. All you got to do is just be like, hey, I got you. Like I see you. Like I feel you. Like I see you. Like I
yeah.
hear you. Like those little things, they probably just, there's got to be something to that energy exchange because it's such a theme when ghost hunting with demons feed on fear that you acknowledging them and giving them the darker things of what they want. Like there's got to be something to that because it always kind of revolves around energy and just acknowledgement and seeing them and hearing them and just understanding that you're here and so are they at all
Hmm.
times.
And they were technically here first, because
Yeah.
if they're spirit now while we're in this form, that means they were here before us.
And who
And
knows? They
then
might have been living in the flesh for 70, 80 years, but then they might have been spirit for 300, 400 years. So
exactly,
they got to see both
exactly.
sides of the coin. And it's super interesting. It's super crazy.
Yeah, we're dead longer than we are alive. So
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. So yeah, and then again, the topic of like energy itself, like that's what we are. We're literally a we're a science experiment. Like our existence is insane. We're just like all these molecules smashed together, and like, all right, we can talk and walk and exist, right?
It doesn't make
We're,
sense. Like I'm talking to you, but that just
like,
us
what?
talking right now doesn't even make sense. Like, how do you
On a
understand me?
phone, on a
Yeah.
phone thing. Like, what is this? What is this technology? Exactly. Like it's literally just energy and bits and bops and all of that. So
Like life is so
yeah.
weird. Like because plants talk to plants. I always tell people this. Plants talk to plants. Like dogs talk to dogs. Cats talk to cats. I'm talking to you, but like there's no way it's not all connected. Like this shit's weird. Like when
Yeah.
you think
Or
about things like that, it's just weird.
that's like on the same vein, like the fact that mushrooms are more like humans than they are plants. Like we have more in
Hmm.
like what the fuck is that about?
What
Like
the fuck is an octopus? Like that's
and
an
it turns
alien if
out
I ever seen one.
and they're extremely intelligent too. So, you know,
It
like
doesn't make
exactly.
any sense. None of this shit makes any sense. We
Yeah,
can
it's
end
just
it on this. What kind of message would you want to give spirit if you could like what message or let me ask you in this way. What
okay.
message do you think spirit would want to give the living?
Damn. Stop fucking shit up for the rest of us.
Yeah. I love that
uh
question because like people like you and I, we talk to spirit like all the time. Like we're kind of used to
yeah.
it. Like it's not like a scary thing like I feel like it is to a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I feel like spirit sometimes wants to get a message out, like because if they do it in a way, it'll come off as scary. You know what I mean? So I ask people like, what message do you think spirit would want the living to know?
Yeah. I okay, to be real and also to our like our comfort with death itself, like you're working on your death practice, and then the only other deity, quote unquote, that I work with is like Santa Muerte, which is literally like the goddess of death.
Hmm.
um so we're comfortable with death and all its forms, right?
Which should be a
And
normal thing because it's
it's
the most common thing
inevitable.
other than being born.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know
we
what I
only have a
mean?
few things in common. Yeah, we have a few things in common where we all
There
have
are
one
only a
flesh.
few universal truths out there, and that's for sure
Exactly.
one of them. We're all gonna live, we're all gonna fucking die. So like, why are we weird
Hmm.
about it? You know what I mean?
Exactly. And then we're also too, and on that question of like what do you think spirit would want to tell us, is like we are like the only species that like kills and attacks each other, right? In this way. Where
I
like
saw something
we
the other day. It was like the Earth is like $77 trillion in debt. I'm like, who the fuck do we owe? I'm like, who the fuck do we owe? Like, this shit is so stupid to me.
exactly. Exactly. Like we are like the only species, like every other species like is working together in some way or another. And we are like the only species that's like, no, I'm better than you. No, I'm better than you. Blah blah blah. It's like it's so ridiculous. Like it really fundamentally, it is not difficult to coexist. It is not difficult to be on this planet that we were gifted. Like it, like Earth itself is like an anomaly where the only reason why we are able to live on Earth is because it's at the perfect position in our solar system. It's right in between, like it's in the perfect distance from the sun and like the perfect distance from other planets, and like it has a moon, and like the our Earth moon is aids in like Earth's rotation. So it's like a perfect scientific balance of distance and like
And I feel like it protects us. You see how many
yeah,
like bullets are in the moon? Like that shit eats everything that the universe throws at us. Like it's the you can
yes.
look at the moon and see all the craters in it.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
moon eats
yeah,
that shit for us. It's crazy.
yeah. It's like if we were any closer to the sun, we would not exist. Like our planet would be too hot, and we would just freaking die. Or like half of a portion of the planet would be way too cold, and the other portion would be way too hot. We are literally in the perfect position, and we should be way more fucking grateful because guess the fuck what? Every star, and our sun is a star. This is like an also talking about death, right? Like a beautiful way to sum it up is all of us, including the stars in the sky, are gonna fucking die. Like that's what a supernova is. Every
Mm-hmm.
star, including the sun, eventually is going to explode. And guess what happens? When stars explode, they expand. So every planet that's right there on its course is going to be freaking blasted eventually,
Yeah.
right?
So we're getting
It's
closer to the sun always, right?
Yeah, the sun is getting closer to us because the
Yeah.
sun is expanding.
Yeah, it's expanding.
It's inevitable. Every single star in the solar system eventually dies. And the way they die is very dramatic. They love to explode. They expand and take everything with it. So eventually Earth will burn up and be nothing, and then every other planet too, and hoping that our predecessors find a way to keep jumping forward, because that's like the only way that humans can survive, is that we keep jumping to another planet that becomes habitable, because planets are not habitable now, could potentially become habitable thousands of years in the future because the sun is closer to them. But again, eventually that planet too will be consumed by this, dying star that is the sun. So, you know, we the fact that we can even live here is like such a freaking scientific gift, and we take it for granted, and it's like a freaking travesty. Like,
And we're
I'm not
just here
just
for a second. So it's like
we're just here for a second of it.
even the
Yeah,
spirits that are here, it's crazy. It's like what happens to all the spirits when the earth fucking blows up because we get too close to the sun.
yeah, yeah. So it's like we should be way more grateful that we even exist in the first place, and we're not. There's just too much entitlement. There's too much selfishness in the world, and I think spirit is looking at us like, shake my head. Like they're just
Mm-hmm.
rolling in their graves. Like, y'all haven't figured this shit out yet. Like, this is insane. Like, it's not that hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
But thank God, like everything takes forever. Like
yeah.
Egypt, the pyramids were built like 12,000 years ago. So, like, it's going to take millions and millions and millions
Hmm.
or billions of years for this shit to even blow up. But it's like,
Yeah.
let that be your timeline. Be like, okay, we live here for 70 to 80 years to 90 years or whatever. How long could you possibly be a spirit for on this planet until it blows up? Like, you can really
Yeah.
plot it out like that. It's crazy.
Yeah. So it's just that. It's just being more grateful for existence itself, and just
Because nothing makes sense.
nothing makes sense, man. And we're not meant to figure it out. We're just puny ass humans. Like, our existence is finite compared to like all the other things in this world. Like, well, we can make it up to like 120 if we're lucky, like 90 something on average or whatever. I forget what the new average is, but it's like that's nothing. Like 100 years is nothing. So just be grateful and stay
And we're at the
humble.
start of everything too, which is even
Hmm.
weirder if you think about stuff like that. Like a generation
Yeah.
and two ago, like there was no music, there was no
Yeah.
recorded music, there was no movies. Like shit's
Yeah.
weird, man. Like we're right
But
at the
even
start of everything.
Yeah, but like our ancient ancestors, like they were clapping, they were making sounds with their. So no, like I no, like music and sound and like connection, like those things have existed, but like in our modern day media, of course, like that is very new, like very
Yeah,
new. Like technology itself, like how yeah, this is very new,
which
but
is crazy. Imagine we
human
were
connection
born
isn't.
100 years ago and we were born in the 1820. It's
But
2025. Imagine it
they were
was
partying though.
1925 right now. That'd be crazy.
They were partying back then though, so like.
Yeah, they were partying, but
Humans
oh
are
my
gonna
god.
human, man. Like we might not have had like speakers back then, but like humans are gonna human. We're gonna party. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna commune. Like that's what it's all about. Like human connection is nothing new. And I believe that humans from like the beginning of existence have found ways to connect and build community, build family, and those are like human fundamentals that in our modern day a lot of us are far from those fundamentals. We're seeking community and being kind to each other and all of that kind of stuff. Like it's basic, and a lot of the population isn't doing it. So
Yeah.
that's a travesty. So yeah, we just got to be more humble, more kind, and more
I think
grateful.
humble is a good word for it because it's like when you're in the middle of the ocean, you're just like, fuck, I'm so small. Like
Yes.
everything is big.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like
It's
Corin
crazy.
here's a who. We're just little dust.
Mm-hmm.
We're just
Yeah.
dust.
Horton here's a who.
We're just
Yeah.
we're nothing and everything at the same time. So
Yeah.
be grateful, people.
Yeah, be grateful. I think a lot more people were, but that's the beauty of it. I see a lot more people kind of opening up to that. Whereas
Yeah,
10 years ago, that wasn't even really a thing that I would see kind of in a mainstream level, but I'm seeing that being a lot more.
yeah, and
So
then
imagine the next 50 years.
yes, that's what I'm hopeful for. I'm trying to stay hopeful that this, and then you touch on this a lot too, where like you've noticed this like collective awakenedness kind of thing, right? And
But it's a generational thing. So imagine when the older
mhm,
generation dies off, it's going to be a lot of like people like you and I that have these conversations, and we're going to be the majority instead of the minority, and it's going to be a
yeah,
different world that we live in because now maybe half the planet, say in 50 years there's 10 billion people on this earth and 5 billion think like that. They're like humble and they're like,
hmm,
okay, there's more to life than just us, right?
hmm,
It'll be a lot better place to live in just because people have that perspective. I think we're
yeah.
in a shift right now where people are starting to get that perspective, which is it's nice to see.
Definitely very helpful. Yeah, that's exactly. I want this to be the new water cooler talk. So when you're in the office,
Yeah,
like, yeah, what did you see in the sky today? Oh yeah, yeah, just classic stuff. You know, another alien came to visit. It's like whatever.
yeah, and it can be.
Yeah. Now let's hope that our the future generations get to experience this as a new normal because it's way more fun on this side of the tracks
It
anyway.
is, right? Because just like 100 years ago, this shit would be like demonized and all these other
Yeah.
things. But now that it's normal, like, or it's starting to get kind of normal, since you call it sensationalized or mainstream or whatever you want to call it, it's not a bad thing. It's just more people are getting open to it. But that's what
Hmm.
it's going to take for the world to kind of wake up. And maybe in 50 years, we don't owe nobody shit because
Yeah.
the majority of the world sees that is so stupid. Like, because it all
Yeah.
goes back to the older generation. Like, they made those rules.
Exactly. It's like, dude, like it's like money's a scam. It's like it's just what printed paper and like numbers. It's just numbers. It's literally just digits. Like
Yeah.
yeah, it's
And it's so
ridiculous.
stupid. So, I think it's like what you say in your craft, it's going to take you 5 steps forward and then 10 steps forward in your life. I think that'll
Hmm.
translate across the whole fucking planet if we allow it to. And
Right.
it'll
So
just
that's
be it'll just be a much better earth to live on.
yeah, that's my hope. That's my hope that yeah, like in the moment it's like so there's so much strain right now. Um but it won't be forever. Like nothing lasts forever, even hardships. That's what I'm trying to stay hopeful for that yes, this shift is going to be
It might not even
so
be our generation either. It might
no, that's
might be
okay.
the next 100 years, but we might have to be the ones to start it because, like, I think we're right at the start of this kind of transition from like
Yeah.
demonizing these things, this way of thinking. I think it's a specific way of thinking versus the other way of thinking.
Yeah.
And I think even if it doesn't take 100 years or 120 years, like, fuck it, it's got to start somewhere.
Hmm. Exactly. And I honestly think it started so long ago. It's just, you know, who is here in the now keeping it alive, right? that's
Hmm.
that's that's pretty much it because it's just keeping the flame alive because this is nothing new. This is not a modern concept whatsoever. Like what we're talking about here, like the fun, like the deep philosophy of what we're
Hmm.
actually talking about here, it's ancient, man. It is so
Yeah,
ancient. So it's just making sure that every generation has a collective of people keeping that flame alive. And I think that's just the key. And I do believe that we are experiencing a very drastic shift in that in the positive way, and it's only expanding from here. Like there's just
because you look
no
through history, and I
hiding.
haven't really seen a time in history where it was majority was kind of accepting of it. It was always kind
Exactly.
of like demonized and made fun of people like that. And so that's why I'm thinking of it like, even if the shift started in the early 1900s up until now, that's 100 years. So now in another 100 years, even if it's just a quarter or half of the planet that thinks positively of these things and acknowledges the dead and honors the dead and respects the dead and all these things. Like it's better than where we were 100 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So we just got to keep it going.
Yeah. We talked about this too, right? About leveling up. Like it doesn't matter if it's like I leveled up 10%, 0.235%. Like it doesn't matter. Like progress is progress, and acknowledging that every ounce of progress is valid and it's important, and it's leading us to
even if it's going from 2 to 4%, it's progress. It's better than being stuck at 2% or dropping to 1%, you know,
or just being stagnant forever. Just like you're just wallowing in your misery and just like complaining about like nothing ever changes, nothing ever gets better for me. I'm like, well, you're not doing anything. So
yeah, it's not going to change on its own, that's for sure.
Exactly.
But things have definitely got to change because we don't owe anybody, but yet we're in debt. I would never get over that. That's so stupid to me. Like, come on, man.
It's so stupid. But anyways, like, whatever. Like, yeah, we're so flawed. That's why I keep saying, like, we're just puny humans. Even the most elite of us is like, they're stupid.
Yeah, even the smartest of the bunch.
Yeah, we're all
ain't too bright.
Exactly.
But yeah, this was a really fun conversation, Corin. I knew it was going to be a good one.
Thank you. And anytime, like this is like months in the making, but we finally did it. But anytime, any topics, you know, we can gab about this forever. So
yeah, absolutely. And we'll do a proper one too, where I edit and stuff like that. But this was a fun live stream. I think this is the longest one so far, an hour and a half. Yeah.
Oh really? Yeah. Oh, amazing. Yeah. This is
and it felt like 20 minutes, so it's like that's crazy.
Because we're gabbers.
Yeah, yapping.
Yap session. Yap masters. So.
Yeah, but quick shout out to Curtis. What's up, Serena?
Yes.
Rob, Douglas. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Always a good time. But yeah, we'll do this again soon.
Amazing. Yeah, just hit me with the questions. I gotcha.
Yes. Alrighty. Well, I'll talk to everybody soon. This was a great live stream. I appreciate you, Corin. You want to plug your stuff before we hang out or head out?
Yes. So yes, if
where can people find you?
They can find me right now on Instagram. I am working on building my website too. So, but that's 2026 thing. Because I do natal chart readings. If anyone's interested in an astrology reading or astrology guidance, it doesn't need to be natal chart reading. Just any guidance when it comes to the cosmos. You can hit me up in Instagram at corin.cosmiccounselor.
I've got it in the description already.
Fantastic. So yeah, hit me up there, DM me, and we can work together to enhance your connection to the cosmos if you so wish.
I love that. Too easy. Alrighty. Well, I'll catch everybody on the flip side.
Bye. Thank you, everyone.
See you guys.